Hey folks, this is Jake Davis with a wrestling recap for you. And tonight I'm talking about Survivor Series Survivor Series 2020, which wrapped up a little less than an hour ago. 34th annual Survivor Series. Now, show kicks off with a package hyping both the events of the evening, as well as playing this pretty awesome AC/DC song. And if you saw my review for WrestleMania 36, I say AC/DC and pro wrestling go together like rum and coke. Speaking of which, salute. Yummy. Opening match is the men's the men's Survivor Series match. That's a few months away. So, Team Raw, which is AJ Styles, Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, Braun Strowman, and Sheamus, versus Team SmackDown, which is Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, King Corbin, and Otis. I really enjoyed the story going into this match, the build up on Raw at least. How a lot of the infighting and stuff. I've also really liked a lot of the stuff between Sheamus and Drew McIntyre the last few weeks. I think they could possibly have an interesting rivalry going forward, if not even a main event program, a WrestleMania program. I mean, the early into right away, Seth Rollins tags in, looks to his team, says it's for the greater good, drops to his knees and takes a super kick to the face. Not super kick, bro kick from Sheamus. Right away eliminated. This is interesting where they're going to take Seth Rollins. I know after the fall of his congregation, he's lost all his followers. He's lost his feud with Rey Mysterio. And I know that he's going off TV for... he's going to go off TV after tonight for a while. For a little bit. And I love the idiots, these fucking smart marks. Sitting there online saying, oh, Seth Rollins is going to step off TV for a few months. He's going to AEW. He's going back to Ring of Honor. His wife is 8 months pregnant, you fucking idiots. He's going home. He's going home to spend some time with his family. I mean, not everything in these people's lives revolve around your fucking dirt sheets, man. Just saying, just get your fucking out of your ass. Anyhow, Matt Riddle really throws himself all over this place. All over this match. He's really the standout performance. Taking bullets for his team, breaking up covers left and right, hither and yorn, and eventually ends up Jey Uso against the entire team of Raw. Jey Uso puts up a valiant fight, which is really good to show that since after the last pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell, he has really made himself subservient to Roman Reigns and very just sad, kind of putting himself down, groveling to Roman. Over the last few weeks. It's really, really great. Even making Roman more and more despicable. But putting Jey in this situation 5-on-1 and seeing him try to fight through it shows that, Jey is still a babyface at heart. It's his mind that's all being messed up and controlled by Roman Reigns. Definitely intriguing storyline stuff going on all over here. Eventually, he gets caught by Keith Lee, the Spirit Bomb, and the entire team of Team Raw survives. As far as I know, this is only the third time. I might be wrong about this. I believe it's only the third time in the history of the Survivor Series entire team has won intact. Next up is the Street Profits versus the New Day. This is, of course, champions versus champions, face versus face. Street Profits were Raw Tag Champions. New Day were SmackDown Tag Team Champions. They both got drafted. They literally traded the belts to each other on the show. That was funny. But they had this big emotional farewell. The draft broke up the New Day. But, Woods and Kofi are still a team. They're still calling themselves New Day. They're still champions. And Big E Langston comes out with them tonight. I guess they're playable characters in the new Gears of War game, which I could give a shit about. But what was the purpose of all this if you're just going to cash in, put them all together again? So they come out dressed as the Gears of War. I don't know the game. Any game past the fucking original Xbox era for me is utterly foreign. I don't give a shit. I'm too old for that. Yeah, so the Street Profits cut a great promo backstage, just fucking fired up, man. And this is a good match, great match. I mean, just really competitive. At one point, Montez puts the Trouble in Paradise, hits Kofi with his own move, which is really great. I mean, because the Trouble in Paradise isn't just like a super kick or a neck breaker or a submission hold. I mean, it's like some fucking Mortal Kombat shit. You gotta be able to move, throw yourself around and spin shit to do that move. So it was cool to see somebody hit Kofi with his own move. The story of this was definitely the New Day working on Montez's ribs. Montez hits his frog splash, but can't too hurt the ribs, doing damage. He can't get the cover in time. Eventually, they have to pull out a new finisher out of their bag. Dawkins gets Xavier up in the electric chair. What's his face? Ford comes off the top with a blockbuster. I was really hoping he'd hit the Doomsday device, in honor of Hulk, who passed away recently. But they hit the blockbuster. Dawkins covers, and the Street Profits pick up a shockingly clean victory over the New Day. I love to see this because look, man, the New Day, they've been around for 6 years. They're bona fide Hall of Famers, just for the run as the tag team that they have had. I would like to see Xavier Woods finally kind of step out on his own a little bit. We've seen Big E get Langston and Kofi Kingston as single guys. Never really seen Xavier Woods as a single star, even in his days as Consequences Creed way back in TNA. But yeah, this was a good match. Really good match. Up next was Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn versus United States Champion Bobby Lashley. And this is just a comedy squash match. The whole match, Bobby Lashley comes out with the entire Hurt Business. And Sami Zayn spent the whole match trying to get disqualified, trying to get counted out, trying to get Bobby disqualified. Eventually gets caught in the Hurt Locker full Nelson. And he taps out. It's a nothing match. But it was funny and I did enjoy it. Sami Zayn's a very entertaining heel. Up next was the Battle of the Women's Champions. Raw Women's Champion Asuka versus SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks. This was actually a rematch from SummerSlam. This was a really good match, but I felt the mechanics of this match were really confusing and perplexing at sometimes. Like, for example, at one point, Sasha Banks is on the barricade. She comes off the barricade for a Meteora. It's blocked and reversed into a code breaker on the floor from Sasha. From Asuka. Both women kind of milk the 10 count, slide into the ring, and then Sasha goes for a cover when she just ate knees to her fucking face seconds earlier. And a lot of stuff like that throughout this match. It seemed like they kind of forgot exactly where they were. That kind of stuff kept happening in this match. I didn't understand why is she going for the pinfall when she's the one that just got knocked the fuck out. Anyhow, the finish, basically, the girls both really going for their finishers, and eventually Sasha uses Asuka's momentum against her to get a roll-up and win. I liked this match, but it was your basic face versus face. Make them look both good. Nobody wins with a finisher, lucky roll-up, bullshit. Up next was the women's, and the women's matches both back-to-back seemed to be bad booking to me. The women's Survivor Series match, which is Team Raw, the women's tag team champions, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, Peyton Royce, Lacey Evans, and Lana, against Team SmackDown, which is Bayley, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Natalya Neidhart, and Bianca Belair. First off, I just want to say I did enjoy this match. I liked the story in this match. Lana tries to tag in early, but her partners tag her out and tell her to just wait, stand on the steps, and don't get on the apron. You just stand there and just wait. Just don't do anything. In the whole story of this, they don't want Lana on the team. They kind of feel like she lucked her way into the team. Nia Jax has been boringly putting her through announce table every week. Seriously, 9 weeks in a row. Every week putting her through the fucking announce table, and it's just groaning at this point. The finish comes Well, there's eliminations. Bailey surprisingly gets eliminated first really quick by Peyton Royce. That was a big surprise. Eventually comes down to Bianca Belair. I totally missed Natalia's elimination entirely. Uh, Eventually comes down Bianca Belair versus the tag champions and Lana, who's still just standing on the steps. Bianca gets caught in the Kakita clutch by Shayna, gets the rope, but Shayna won't break just because, for the sake of this finish. Shayna won't break, she gets disqualified. Then Nia Jax and Bianca are fighting on the floor. They both get counted out, which means Lana, who literally did nothing but stand on the steps the entire match, is the sole survivor and winner of the match, at which point she celebrates like she just won the Royal Rumble, and it was genuinely cute and really entertaining. Up next it's not really the main event, but it's the last match. And it's the Battle of the Champions, the new two-time WWE Champion Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns, who's Universal Champion. Drew just won the title back last Monday night, which I kind of thought was lame. What was the point of giving Randy Orton his 14th world title reign just to have him drop it 3 weeks later, back to the same guy? It wouldn't feel more impactful if Drew had this one long title reign than two title reigns that were just briefly split up by a few weeks. I mean, come on, it's lame. But this was a good match. This was the third pay-per-view singles match between these two guys I've reviewed since I started doing my wrestling recaps, and easily their best one. I guess the dynamic was off. The first half of this match was, a lot of rest holds and a lot of pacing problems. But when it kicked into gear, it kicked into fucking high gear. Got terrific. Reigns goes for a Superman punch. Drew blocks it by hooking his arm, spinning him around, and catching him with the underhook DDT, his future shot. His old finisher when he first worked in WWE. Roman Reigns hits a Samoan drop through the announce table, and somewhere in the back, Nia Jax was saying gimmick infringement, I'm sure. Roman spears Drew McIntyre through the barricade. That doesn't get it. Drew finally gets the Claymore, but the sonic blast of the Claymore cracking off a Roman's skull knocks the referee out of the ring. Now he stumbles back, hits the referee, and the referee falls out, of course. But it was the sonic blast. Jey Uso hits the ring, calls enough of a distraction. Roman Reigns is able to hit a spear, locking his guillotine chokeout. A second referee comes in, checks Drew, who's unconscious, and Roman Reigns wins, as he should have. And it was a good match. It was a really good match. The main event was my favorite match of the night. But the show isn't over. Up next, the finale of the show is The Undertaker's final farewell. 17 different 17 different guys come out to the ring one at a time, talking DX, the McMahons, Kane, the Godfather, fucking Savio Vega, who I could have done without, the Godwins, which, how are they alive? Fucking Godfather, I'm sure 3,000 or 4,000 other people got there. I just name somebody. If you're guessing the Iron Sheik was there, you're probably right. But all these guys come out to the ring. The only one that got to pop out at me was Kane, who comes out in his wrestling gear and really selling it like, all these guys in the ring, I'm ready for a fight. I'm ready for a battle royal. So he shows this fucking hype package celebrating the career of The Undertaker and get back to the ring, and all the guys have left, but Vince is in there now, which I'm convinced they all left because Kane threw everyone out because he thought it was a battle royal. That's what I would like to have seen. The most endearing part of this whole segment is 75-year-old Vince McMahon, professional tough guy, holding back tears, talking about this man I'm sure he loves like a fucking son, The Undertaker. So he introduces Taker. Taker walks out. They got this whole Tesla thing set up for him. And about 7 or 8 minutes after he starts walking to the ring, he gets in the ring, of course. Starts talking about another 15 minutes later. And he says, just summarizing here, and not too many more words were actually spoken, but for 30 years, The Undertaker's been laying souls to rest. Now it's time for The Undertaker to rest in peace. And then he eventually leaves while just every canned thank you, Taker, Undertaker clap, every fucking canned applause that they had in the goddamn tube gets thrown out onto this. This was trash. This was a 40 fucking minute segment that would have been slow in the middle of the show, much less the main event. Look, I love The Undertaker. I love The Undertaker, but he needs to go away. He retired fucking years ago. He hasn't been a full-time worker since 2010. He lost the streak in 2014. He fucking left his boots in the ring in 2017, and he officially retired earlier this year. I mean, look, man, this has been the problem with WWE over the last decade. This harping on the old guard, this obsession with nostalgia. Guys, how Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre had a barn burn, a great main event, one of the best main events in Survivor Series history. And it's fucking 40 minutes left of the show, and it's just old men walking out there trying not to cry. It was unbearable. It was embarrassing. I'll say it again. I love The Undertaker, but fucking get over yourself. Go away. Retire. Now you can leave your dislike at the bottom. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I thought this was a really, really, really good show. A great Survivor Series. Straight up until all that bullshit Undertaker stuff at the end. Anyhow, I hope y'all like this video. I'm Jake Davis, and I will catch you on the fly.